Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Today I'll talk to you about Python conditional statements as well as the loops. I apologize, I'm recording this video without prior preparation because of time constraints, so please bear with me. So start your Jupyter notebook. So here, your Jupyter. Starting your Jupyter notebook. Wait a minute, let me go back. So if you remember from last time, we created this folder and you create a folder from right here, and the folder is not folder 1, it is the untitled folder. Then you rename it, give it 1 so that it is on top. Now go in there. Last time we started with getting started with Python, and in the previous video or class we talked about different libraries, about the print function and the main types of data in programming: integer, float, and string. We also talked about advanced data types like lists and dictionaries. Today I'm going to start by duplicating this file. So this is the duplicate, and now I'm going to rename it, and I'm going to give it to be getting started with Python. And instead of copy, I'll just here add conditional statements and loops. So this is how I'm gonna call it, and here I'm gonna rename it this way. Now what I'm gonna do is over here with this file, for example, this is the previous file. Let's say that some of the students will come unprepared or even though you have to, in fact, look at, what happened? Okay, so over here, I'm gonna save this. Or download as a notebook here. And now it is downloaded as a notebook. I'm gonna save that for later. I'm gonna put it on Moodle for you guys. So at least the worst scenario, if you haven't had the time or the chance to work with me in class, so at least by all means kindly get this file from Moodle, and then before class go over here and upload it. So you upload the file, you go all the way to, where is the, okay, I have to go the long way, sorry guys. And this is the one, I think, getting started with this one. So I'm gonna just put it here, AA, as a distinction, and open. Here, AA, getting started with Python, upload. So now you can start with me in class easily if you do so. So please do so, all right, before coming to class. Now I don't need this. This is a duplicate, right? Unnecessarily, so I'm gonna just get rid of it. So I showed you now how to get the IPython notebook and the notebook, and then you can upload it into your Jupyter platform here. Okay, so now this is where we want to start. I'm gonna just run all the cells. Okay, and now would like to, but they're not running, none of them. Oh yeah, they ran here, hello world and all that. Okay, they're all okay, now they're all fine, just needed some time. Okay, so now let's begin, guys. In the previous set of slides, we're still gonna work with the same set of slides over here. We're gonna talk about conditional statements, slide number 14. So in the previous class, I showed you beforehand the difference between one equal sign and two equal signs. So a one equal sign, you've found out that whenever I want to assign a value, like an integer, a float, a string, to a variable, yeah, then I will use one single equal sign. But whenever I want to assign a variable to a variable, so this variable is assigned as equal to this variable, then I'm going to use the double to equal. So equality in between two sides being variables, we use the double equal sign. But if you are here wanting to assign an integer, a is equal to 10, a is equal to 4, a is equal to 4.5, then one single equal sign. So this is something that we talked about last time, I think, in the previous video. And now you can see that in here you use the double equals when it is two variables. Now the not equal in Python, you use here the exclamation mark and then the equal. Less than, one variable less than the other, then you use the less than operator. And then here is greater than, and over here is greater than or equal, less than, and equal, and so on. So these are the conditional operators. Between variables here is the double equal, not equal is exclamation mark and equal. And over here I have some notes here. An if statement is written by using the if keyword. And if statement without indentation will raise an error. So you need an indentation in Python. Of course, even with the print. So here, the condition here, let's see. If we have I is assigned to 4, do you see I is equal to 4? If I is equal to 1, also one more thing, guys, about the double equal, we use it when we are using the if statement. So if it's to check a condition, for checking a condition in the if statement, we use double equal sign. So yeah, so if I is equal to 1, in this case, print I is equal to 1, and then there will be an output. In a pre-definition, we defined I as equal to 4. If I is equal to 4, print I is equal to 4. So what happens if you omit the indentation here with the print? You see the print, there is space. This is space, we call it indentation. So what happens if you remove the indentation? Let's try. So let's do this. Let's start with escape M, which is a markup here, markdown here in Python is called a markdown cell. And right over here, guys, conditional statements. So let's here write conditional statements. All right, and enter, hold down the shift key and enter. So with conditional statements, let's start with the if statement. So if I is equal to 1, this is just the definition, I is equal to 1. If I is equal to 1, then what happens? In fact, over here, do we keep it as is? Is there a comma? Is there a colon? Is there a semicolon? Because different programming languages, like in Excel, for example, if and then in between brackets, there will be I is equal to 1, comma, do something, comma, do the other thing, if it's not the case. So over here in Python, you use the colon. As you can see, even with other functions, we see that you use the colon. So if I is equal to 1, use the colon, do something. Do you see how the I workbook is very smart? It gave you the indentation automatically. So you do print, and since you are printing a text, you need to enclose it in between quotation. So in the quotation, you write I is equal to 1. So you just say I is equal to. Do you wanna do it as I is equal to, uh, if you remember from the previous class, we have it here. Let's do a little bit of a, here. I is equal to percent s, and then you define the percent s being equal to something. So let's try this and see what happens. Then equal to percent s, and then over here you just put percent, and this is I. Let's see, did I do that correctly or not? So here I is equal to 1. This doesn't really make sense because in a sense that you're just printing this no matter what this is. So if you put I is equal to 4, so if I is equal to 4, what's going to happen? So I is not equal to 4. So it didn't give us the output, which is print. So what I wanted to show you here, if this condition is true, is correct, if I is equal to 1, this is the definition. So let me show you something here so that you feel it is separated. Let me do it this way. Okay, so I is equal to 1, right? It's defined as I is equal to 1. What is I? I is 1. Okay, so if I is equal to 1, print I is equal to whatever it is, which is 1. Now, this is why we didn't use this one. So I is equal to 1. So now, if I is equal to 2, what's going to happen? If I is equal to 2, nothing will happen. Can you see that? If I is equal to 4, nothing will happen. Unless you say here I is equal to 4 and say here I is equal to 4, and then see what happens. So if I is equal to 4, which is the case, then print something. Got it, I believe. So this is something here that you will easy to see. Let me just do something else before we go. If you don't have indentation here, then you will have an indentation error. So expected and intended block. So how do you correct that? With the tab key. The tab key on the left side of the keyboard. And then now everything is going very well. All right, next. Conditional statements in Python, we're going to talk about the elif, which is like else if. So what happens? If I is equal to 1, in this case, you can't print this statement. So what are you going to say? If I is equal to 4, print I is equal to 4. What if it's not equal to 4? Do you want the system to have an alternative course of action? In case you would like the system to have an alternative course of action, you could use the elif, which is like else if statement. The elif, give it also another condition, and then print it out. So over here, I would say, let's copy this, really. If I is equal to 4, then print I is equal to 4. Basic, yeah? Basic mathematics, because if I is equal to 4, always print I is equal to 4. Now, over here, elif, in a different scenario, elif, and then I is not equal to 4, let's say. I'm putting something different from what's in the slides, which is okay, spontaneously. If I is not equal to 4, and I need a colon all the time, right? So you always need a colon here at the end. If I need to know if there's an indentation. So it's very important that you know if elif needs an indentation or not. Then do something else. I would say print I is equal to whatever number. Let's say there is an indentation, syntax error in fact. Oh, why is this so? Well, maybe it is, no, maybe elif. What's the idea here? Is there, this is how we do troubleshooting. Did I forget a comma here? Did I forget, for example, a semicolon? What is it? It tells me syntax error. Syntax error is usually there's something wrong with the name of the file, elif. Let's check what's in here. First of all, there is the colon, we got it. Then here's another colon. It seems to be the indentation is unnecessary, as you can see in the slides. You see the if and the elif, it's all at the same level. So over here, the problem is with the indentation. So it's supposed to have this, it's supposed to be the same level. So let's check again. Now all is good. Do you see? So little things does matter. So today I wanted to show you the importance of indentation. This is like nested kind of arrangement, because if I is equal to 4, print I is equal to 4 simply. In this programming language, you don't need a comma or a semicolon at the end of the statement. In other programming languages, you may be accustomed or expecting a comma, semicolon at the end of a function, which is okay. It's healthy that you at least this helps you with troubleshooting. Did I forget this? Did I forget that? One more thing you need to look after or take care of with Python is the indentation. All right, so indentation, if and elif, they are at the same level. All right, and as I told you earlier, don't make the mistake of thinking that the function in Python starts with a capital. Look what happens when I experimented with capital. It lost its color. So over here with this smart notebook, you will understand that the function is always in a green font. All right, what's next? Let's practice with this kind of example. If B is greater than A, say it's greater than A, if, else, and all that. So you have A is equal to a certain number, 33 let's say, and B is equal to 46 or 48. Now we're gonna put a nice if and elif statement. So if, and now the condition, A is greater than B, and there'll always be a colon, then print A is greater than B. Now elif A is equal to B, and print A is equal to B. Elif let's try little thing. If you want to try not writing here a condition, what's going to happen? For example, if you are familiar with other programming languages, the last a condition, whatever not that, A is less than B. Would it work? Well, it actually had a syntax error. You will always need here a condition to test. So you always have to put A is less than B. So always have a condition to test. Then you should be fine. So over here in our case, A is less than B. If you change the readings, see what happens. A is greater than B. If you further change the readings here, so A is equal to B. So all the conditions been executed nicely and smoothly. So we learned today the conditional statements. With the if conditional statement with Python, first of all, you need to understand when you're checking for an equality condition, you need to use the double equals. If you want to test if it's not equal, if A is greater than B, or A is less than B, you can just say A is not equal to B. You say A is not equal to B. So I give you a moment. Pause the video and test two conditions. If A is equal to B, say A is equal to B, or print A is equal to B. If A is not equal to B, please print A is not equal to B and come back to me. So how do we do this? All right, so I hope that you wrote your condition as this: A is not equal to is not equal to B, and don't forget the colon. Print A is not equal to B, and LF A is equal to B, and make this mistake of writing only one equal sign. So that is a mistake. A is equal to B. Now let's troubleshoot. There is a syntax error here. Why? Because it is only one single equal sign, as I told you while writing it. So I just wanted to show you how to troubleshoot. So over here, the syntax error means that there is an error, either you missed something within the code. So I hope you got this correctly. If you did, then congratulations. Now you're a master of an if statement. Now let's talk about, guys, a bit of an advanced conditional statement with logical operators, with the logic operators. Now, first operators we got were the greater than, equal than. These are arithmetic operators, let's say. But these are now logic operators, the and the or. With the and, both conditions here are combined together, and or also we are testing two conditions. So if this condition and this condition, so you are testing two conditions. This is the first thing you need to know. Why do we use the logic operators? So if you're asked why are we using the logic operators, it's because we are testing two different conditions. So the first condition is A is greater than B, the other is C is greater than A. So A is greater than B, or C is greater than A. So in this case, guys, what we are going to do is we're going to ask ourselves, do we need A is greater than B and also C is greater than A? Like both of them supposed to be at the same time, supposed to be satisfying the condition. Both these are supposed to satisfy the conditions, these statements. Or either one. If either one satisfies the condition, I'm fine with that. If either one satisfies the condition, then you say at least one of the conditions is true. So let's do that. Let's reproduce this exercise. So let's type here if statement with logical operators. So let's say that we have A is equal to a certain number, which is 3, B is equal to 4, and C is equal to 5. So, or whatever number it is. So now that we defined the variables or assigned values to these different variables, let's now try the if statement with two conditions, and or. With two conditions and with different logical operators. If A is greater than B and B is greater than C, whatever condition you'd like to add here, print both conditions are satisfied or are true. Now, if or if, yeah, A is greater than B or C is less than B, for example, whatever it is, print at least one condition is true. So nothing is printed. You know why? Because I just put it literally. I need to find the if A is greater than B, let's put it A is less than B, and B is greater than C, let's say C is greater than B. Now we're gonna be fine, and I'm sorry, here B is a small letter. So let's check. There's syntax error. Why is that so? Yeah, because it's only one single quote with Python 3, not double. So those who's doing okay. Ta-da! And wait a minute, is that true? Yeah, even with Python 3 you can put double. Sorry, so double or single is all right. I think so, yeah, that's I was right. Both conditions are satisfied. So very good, very good, very good. So this is what it is about if statements or conditional statements. It's not very difficult, but it's very important for you to understand the logic, basic logic in programming. I think this is it for conditional statements. There is an assignment that I will ask you to tackle in or to attempt after the quiz that we're gonna attempt next Friday. So this is the assignment, and I'm gonna put it on Moodle for the flip class after quiz 2. All right, so in the next video I'll talk about the loops. I'll talk about while and I'll talk about for loops. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.